Each week, we'll dive into the science, stories, and the secrets of hormones. From hormone health tips to personal experiences, we've got it all.
So grab your favorite beverage, get cozy, and join us as we laugh, learn, and share our hormone journeys with you.
It's time to learn about hormones, break down the barriers, and empower ourselves with knowledge.
Let's get started.
Welcome to the Hormone Girls.
Hello, ladies.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Hormone Girls. Here we are.
Yeah, week 2.
Week dos. Did you guys have a good week in the last week?
I'm trying to remember what I did. I feel like the weekend has been so long ago.
It has been. It's always a long time ago.
I went to watch my granddaughter play softball on Saturday, but the weather was beautiful.
It was. We've had some great weather. It's not 190,000 degrees outside where you're melting the second you walk out.
Like a hot flash, a continual all day
Exactly.
hot flash.
Constant
right?
hot flash. Hot blow dryer blowing on you all the time.
So what did you do, Amy? Anything fun?
I did not do anything. I did not feel good all weekend. So I was literally in bed doing Jack. Absolutely not doing Jack. His name is not Jack. There is no one else, but whatever. I was doing absolutely nothing.
I was like, oh, well, I hadn't heard of Jack, but okay.
Yeah, let's talk about Jack.
We might have to make him up.
Let's talk about Jack.
I was doing Jack. Sorry. No, I did nothing. It was nice. I didn't feel great, but I laid in bed and relaxed. Got refreshed for the week.
It was my friend's 59th birthday. Heard a brunch on Sunday with some friends, some girlfriends. So it's always nice to get with girlfriends and to really talk about the different things that we all at all ages, because there was some of us that was 20 years older than me, some that was 20 years younger, so you had all age ranges, but the commonalities that we all have are hormone related. So here we are.
So today we're talking about some misconceptions and myths related to hormones, or
a lot of those.
There are so many of those. So who wants to start us off? What misconceptions or myths do you hear?
One big one is definitely, I would say that you think you're going to gain weight automatically from hormone therapy, which is absolutely not true. It could be that you might even lose weight with testosterone therapy. But there, of course, is always a chance that you could gain weight, being if you're not on the correct hormone that's best for you and your body. So, for example, if your estradiol is too high, if they've got you on too much of that, or definitely not going to gain weight with testosterone, then maybe building muscle, but not gaining weight, not gaining fat. So there's always a benefit to that. And people think, testosterone is just for men. You're just going to bulk up. You're going to build muscle and get big like steroids. Not even remotely the truth. You're more than likely going to feel better and lose weight. So again, could maybe gain some if your estrogen is too high, or if your own natural body, your own natural estrogen is maybe out of whack, that you need to get balanced or whatnot. If your body's converting your testosterone to estradiol, then of course you could also have some weight gain. So you want to make sure that you're always getting those levels checked out. So
and take your DIM.
And take your DIM. DIM. People don't know what DIM is. It is an aromatase inhibitor that keeps your body from converting your natural testosterone, or any testosterone if you're on therapy as well, but keeping your testosterone from converting to estradiol. So your body can naturally convert it. So some people will convert it. Men will usually show up in them as, man boobs, gynecomastia. Women, it's a little bit, different. I personally do tend to convert my testosterone to estradiol. So I do take DIM daily. So, that helps keep me feeling better, number one, and of course, keep the weight gain down. I definitely noticed a huge difference as far as energy. So if you're wanting to maybe get back to working out, it's definitely beneficial as far as weight loss is concerned.
And that's the first thing that women notice is they start to get that little inner tube around their waist size, right? Mm-hmm. And they can't lose it when they start going through menopause.
All the above.
And they think that miraculously, once they get hormones, it's going to disappear. And it doesn't. And they're like, oh, I gained weight. Well, if you take hormones and you continue to sit on your bed and do nothing differently, you're going to gain weight.
It's not a miracle drug.
And it has nothing to do with your hormones.
Well, unless you are converting it. But that's where...
Unless you are converting it, yes.
That's where it's very important to go to a provider who can understand that and help you with that. I'm going to snowball off of Amy because I think she just said that about men with testosterone. And that's one of the myths that I have, is that women don't need testosterone, which is absolutely a lie. We do need testosterone.
You don't ever want to have sex and have a sex drive or do any of that kind of stuff.
Or, want muscle mass or
If you're okay with that, keep going.
No energy. Testosterone does so much for us. It can help us sleep. It gives us our energy levels, our libido, but we don't need it to the extreme that a man does. I think we need 10% maybe or less than what an average man does, a male. So I think a male is around like 900 to 1100-ish in their range that they need. So we need about 10% of that around there. But everyone's different. Like we were just like saying, like if you're a couch potato that's just hanging out a lot, you're not going to like need as much as somebody who's working out all the time because you're going to run through it a lot faster. So women definitely need testosterone. But if you get too much of it
and you have hair loss,
you could. Or
hair growth in places you don't want.
You could have hair loss with that if you have too much testosterone. And that's another thing that I see a ton is like people say, I started doing hormone replacement. Now I'm losing my hair. Females. I'm having male hair pattern baldness. But look, there are things that we can do. If you take too much testosterone, you're probably going to have some hair loss. Again, you got to take the DIN. You've got to keep the conversion. You've got to do all this stuff to keep your limits where they need to be. If you have them high or low, you're going to have hair loss. Hair's a weird thing.
You could also have hair growth.
Yep.
Well, yeah, women get it because we take testosterone and we get the mustache. Amy always has the mustache.
I'm always plucking, but I will definitely keep my testosterone therapy and pluck. Or you can go get laser too, but you also don't want to grow a full beard. So if you're growing a full beard, we got too much.
But you know what? Before I was even on hormone replacement, people that don't even take hormones as women, you get the little whisper here and there. It just happens, And I notice them more when I'm on the hormones, on testosterone, but the advantages of being on hormones are...
Oh, it outweighs it all.
Yeah.
Outweighs it all.
100%. Well, I would tell anybody that's having a noticeable amount of hair growth or hair loss that they need to speak to their doctor and find out what they can do to limit either of those. Yeah. Because definitely. There are things that can be done, and it may be just getting you to the right dosage of whatever hormone replacement therapy that you're taking. Because if you're not taking enough, or you're taking too much, or you're not using the correct supplements along with your hormone replacement, then you're going to have problems. And it's not just the problems we're talking about. So people think, I don't need hormones because I'm not experiencing ABC. But what they don't understand is that utilizing hormone replacement can be preventative. I know personally of a female that had very bad osteoporosis, was in her 60s, started taking hormone replacement therapy. 2 years later, no signs of osteoporosis. I mean, it completely helped her with her osteoporosis. Now, not saying it's going to happen with everybody. I'm not saying that's 100% across the board. I'm not saying that's a known thing for hormones, but I've heard of it helping several people.
It's definitely beneficial for the bones, for sure.
I mean, women have huge osteoporosis issues that we need to get on top of and ahead of.
Yeah, especially as we age.
And this is a great way to do it.
My mother's the same way. She's 76 and she's, you can take calcium and whatnot all day long too, but your testosterone, having natural testosterone already or on supplements or some kind of, definitely is going to be beneficial for that. I've seen so many people have improvements from testosterone therapy with their osteoporosis. So yeah, it's huge. It's crazy how much.
Well, I mean, you take it and you prevent the osteoporosis, and then when you get to be 80, you're less likely to fall and break a hip. I mean, it keeps your bones healthy, and a big contributor to as we age is falling and breaking a hip, and it seems like that's a huge decline in health for older people. So why not take care of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you can help prevent it, why wouldn't you want to?
And it's not all just calcium. Calcium's can only do so much for your bones and so much milk.
It's also not just all about testosterone. Like there just has to be this complete balance of all of these hormones and everything else that we have.
And that's it. You just said it, a complete balance, because people think they want to take a miracle drug and be able to put it in their mouth or put it in their hip or take a shot. And everything about them is wonderful. And it just doesn't happen like that, because you still have to eat right. You have to exercise. Mental health. Gosh dang. Mental health. Mood swings. Women have so many. And I know everybody has mental problems these days, but I feel like women have so many mental issues that we don't try to get help for. But I think hormones is a lot of that too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, because we're constantly like this with all of the hormones that we have. So
yeah.
Another misconception or myth that I've heard of is that BHRT or hormone replacement therapy in general, I think when we say BHRT, we're referring to bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, but I'm just going to say HRT, hormone replacement therapy in general, that it's unsafe. I think there was a lot of misconceptions that came out around the time that Women's Health Initiative study came out that, we all know what that study was. And how long ago was that now? That was in the
long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't know when it was, but I know it was a very long time ago.
And what's crazy is I think that they're still teaching about that study in schools for providers. So it's just the education's just not up with the times, because BHRT, well, when it's synthetic, it definitely can pose a lot more problems, but we're
not be going out there taking
Premarin.
Premarin.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to think.
Yeah.
Premarin.
It's literally mare, which is a female horse, is urine. That is what you're taking. So I want to be clear that what we're talking about when it comes to hormone replacement, we're talking about bioidentical hormones, which are 100% bioidentical to the hormones that your body naturally makes. So I think that's huge because it is safe. And there are quite a few studies out there that talk about all the different ways that it helps. Like you were saying, with osteoporosis, I think it can even help with your heart health, your mental health. There's so many positives to hormone replacement. And I think that it being unsafe is just a huge myth.
Another misconception, I think, also is that you only need hormone therapy with menopause. So people don't realize that, hey, you don't necessarily have to be in menopause. You want to help before you're in menopause. So it could be or after, I've been in menopause for a while because I've had a hysterectomy, but I still have my ovaries. Those kind of work, sort of, kind of, not really. Now I've had to supplement with estradiol as well because my my ovaries are not working like they're supposed to. But, you never know. So different ages, you could start menopause in your late 20s and not even know, So going through perimenopause could last for years and years and years. And so people don't realize that, I only need to start doing anything, when I'm 60. I remember as a kid, thinking my mom, and I know my mother took Premarin because I remember her going through menopause and thinking I was going to go crazy, having to put up with her in her hot glasses and her crazy momness. But, now here I am, 40, almost 47, realizing what my mom went through and watching her go through menopause, not thinking it's something that's ever going to happen to me as a kid because my mom's old. That just happens when you get old. No, it happens anytime. So prime example is you, Jennifer, being 30 years old and on
29, remember? I'm sticking at 29.
But the fact that you're young and starting, hormone therapy. So there's definitely no age range, definitely is not something that you can go, that only happens when you're old. Absolutely not. You don't wait till you're menopausal. You want to start it prior to whatever you're going to do. Yeah. God forbid, you do not have to live with those, horrible symptoms of sweating to death, not sleeping, the mental fog, feeling like crap, just having no sex drive, all of the above. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely not only needed during menopause. You want it prior to and after and during. So all of the above.
Absolutely.
Let's think about this. So people get married in their 20s. This is just something that just dawned on me. You get married in your 20s, your sex drive is high, everything's great. 7 years in, you're in your mid-30s, your sex drive drops. And then they say people get the 7-year itch. How much of that could be attributed to hormones versus just whatever else in life that we're talking about?
Absolutely. A lot of it. Well, look at what hormones have done as far as saving marriages. So, yeah, I absolutely agree with you.
Look, I was married to Jennifer's dad for 10 years. At the end, I could care less if I ever had sex with him. I'm sorry, Jennifer. Don't mean to say that.
It's okay. At this point,
it's a real life situation.
Yeah.
And, it was real. But I remember basically thinking, I don't really care what he does. I just don't touch me, Yeah. Because that was just me. And it wasn't anything he had ever done wrong. It was my body, my hormones, my inability to feel wanted or to even feel desirable or sexy or I wanted none of that. None of it.
Guarantee you. I went through the same thing and I've been divorced for 15 some odd years. I went through the same thing.
So definitely, I think anybody listening, that's a good thing about this, the Hormone Girls, is we're not just going to talk about hormones, but we're going to dive into other things that can be attributed to hormones relationship wise. But I would say if you're listening and you have trouble in your marriage and you don't want sex anymore and you think it's because you are no longer attracted to your husband, go get your hormones checked. Figure that out first. Go talk to a counselor, because it could really, really change things.
What's funny is this has been years ago. I think I was still on birth control when this happened, and I had like zero sex drive, and I brought it up to my OBGYN. And you know what her answer was? To go on more dates.
To go on more dates?
Yes. That's what her answer was. And I was like,
a date is a fix, huh?
Yeah. And I'm like, no, it's my hormones. I know it. She wouldn't even test my hormones.
Because you were too young.
Because I was too young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's, again, comes back to make your doctors listen.
Yes. I haven't gone back and
you got to fire them sometimes and start over. You throw the whole doctor away.
Yeah, which sucks because I'm a person, I hate, I don't like to change things, especially providers. And
that's it. Your gynecologist is a tough one. You don't want it. Nobody wants to change that.
Well, especially the female, because you're opening up to so many personal things with a position like that. So you don't want to go around like telling everybody the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it's life. And we all deal with it, but it's just finding somebody that actually listens to you and doesn't tell you something that just puts a Band-Aid on the problem. Like, we're actually going to figure out what's going on and fix it.
Agree. 100%. I think it's exciting, though, that we live in a time when we do have options, back, Amy talking about her mom being on Premarin. That was the only, they could take testosterone cypionate and take an injection. But for the most part, every lady I knew 30 years ago, 40 years ago, took Premarin. 100%. It was Premarin. Everybody prescribed it. Everybody took it. That's just what you did. Mm-hmm. Nobody did anything about testosterone back then. I never even knew women that got testosterone because it just wasn't heard of.
And even now, I feel like it's just now becoming more popular, but we are very fortunate to live in a time where it is becoming more, not even just acceptable, but
it's talked about. People do talk about things because you're embarrassed or you think you're the only one that's, just different symptoms or whatever. The lack of sex drive alone. Women don't want to talk about sex.
No,
it's scary for them. Well, some women, I love sex, but you want to be able to talk about it and with your girlfriends and feel comfortable, or I'm having this going on, or hey, this, or everything that's with our bodies, our pH, our hormones, every single thing is involved.
But you learn, when you talk about it, you learn that you're not the only one experiencing that.
Exactly.
Sometimes you think you're all isolated in your in what you're dealing with.
I mean, and there's nothing to be embarrassed with. We should all be talking to our girlfriends about the things that we're going through, the different symptoms we have, the different whatever, the mental health issues that we deal with, anxiety, not sleeping. Yeah. Oh my God, I wanted to kill my husband yesterday, or some of my kids, whatever. But we all have these crazy thoughts as women, period. And not being able to talk about it with other people is just ridiculous and unheard of.
It's never healthy to keep things in. Never.
No, never.
And that's another thing. You brought up the mental health. I feel like that's another thing. We're very fortunate because years upon years ago, having anxiety and depression, you couldn't talk about it. Going to counseling, something must be terribly wrong with you if you are going to counseling. And now I feel like it's changed. Like, we all have dealt with anxiety and depression and we're all dealing with it, but now we can be open about it. And, if you're going to counseling to fix it, like, good for you. Like, you were trying to better yourself and we're proud of you, that type of thing. So I am happy that those things have gotten to where they are today. And I hope that they continue to push forward.
I would say that based on that, I know I've heard this, and Amy and I have discussed this, people that are on like antidepressants and they've been on them for a length of time and I go, oh, I'm feeling fine. I don't think I need them anymore. The thing I want to touch on that is just like hormones. You take those things so that you do feel fine. You don't jump off of them and continue down the same healthy road. You've got to maintain. It's called a maintenance. You've got to maintain on hormones and your antidepressants and stuff. I mean, there are some people that are able to come off of them, but most, I think, if you need them, you need them. I mean, it's a medical condition. Depression is a medical condition.
Absolutely, it is.
And you've got to treat it. And it may be long-term, it may be lifelong, and it may be short-term, but get treated, get help.
It's nothing to be ashamed about.
No, nothing at all.
Hell, I've been there.
We've all been there.
We've all been there.
It's just part of life. And, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be embarrassed of, but it is something to be talked about and to be helped through.
Yep.
because that's what we're here for as friends. Next week, I think we were talking about things that we could talk about. And I think next week what we'll dive into is the different kinds of hormone treatment, because
there are a lot and it can be hard to decide.
There are so many.
It can be extremely overwhelming.
And you know what works for one person may not work for another person.
Absolutely.
And you have to find what works for you, because hormone treatments are just like birth control. Not one woman out there is the same as any other woman on birth control. It's like some people can take it, some people can't. Some people are sick at their stomach every day. Some people are great. Some people gain weight. It's just across the board with what you want to do as far as birth control. Hormones are the same way. They're options. You have options.
It's like AOL. You've got mail. You've got options.
You've got options.
In life. You have all kinds of options in life.
Do your research, though. People need to remember to research things. Don't go off.
Always do your due diligence on your own. Don't listen to us. And we are not medical providers. Again, we are not offering any kind of
free women living. That's what we are.
That's our new catchprise.
There it is.
Free women living. And sometimes we're losing, but we're living.
You know what? I have a new life. Oh gosh.
Mantra?
Yes. Thank you so much. I don't know why words are so hard for me lately.
You must need estrogen.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Did you go?
No, I didn't. I thought we were going to go yesterday and we didn't. We didn't have time.
I'm doing myself.
We need to make a trip. Next time we go get pellets, we will definitely make a podcast about it and show a video, and it'll be a great time. But my new life mantra is that life's not that serious. Like, this is going to kind of sound a little dark, but at the end of the day, we're all going to die, and it's not that serious. Like, everything that we go through, like, why are we stressing ourselves out about work? Like, it's not that serious.
It's trivial in the end.
In the end, all of these little things don't matter. And we're just here to try to live a happy life. So that's all I got. It's not that serious.
Make the best of it. We're only here for a short period of time. So You're right.
So make the best of it.
Stop being so hard on yourself and stop taking everything so serious.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, if there are things out there to help you better your life and live a better life and help you do more, then I mean, why not?
While we're here, we got to enjoy it. And we got to make sure we feel our best. So
Jennifer.
Yes.
In you saying that, what are two things, I'm going to ask Amy this afterwards.
Okay.
What are two things that you feel like you could do on a weekly basis to be taking better care of Jennifer?
Oh, that's a good one. I honestly feel like I do a pretty good job. I've gotten a lot better about taking care of myself. I do need to be better about meditation, and like praying has been something that I've been really wanting to hone in on. It's just like finding the time to do that is something, and it's just making it a priority. So meditation, though, I feel like, and doing things like yoga and Pilates, like that stuff that just like makes me feel better. And I just need to find the time to put that more into my schedule. But other than that, like I work out pretty much every day. I drink lots of water. I eat pretty healthy. Oh, I need to be better about taking my supplements.
As we were talking about.
That's what I could do. I could do a whole lot better about taking my supplements.
And mine right here, right by my computer, so I can take them every day.
Yeah, I need to do that.
And what about you, Amy?
In talking about trying to live our best life, I guess, basically, like I said, we're only here for a short amount of time. I'm really trying to work on I do take everything super serious, and I tend to take things personal, serious, and I'm trying to be more relaxed and let things go, if that makes any sense. You know, I've only been an empty nester for 4 or 5 months now, so getting used to that's also another thing. I'm used to always doing things for the kids, making dinner, having something, going on. Well, now they're both in college, so it's just me. So I'm trying to make it more about me, as that sounds really selfish, but I think we have to be selfish as women. And I don't know if we were talking about this or if I was talking to somebody else, but if we're not doing good, we can't be any good for somebody else. Mm-hmm. So I got to do what I got to do for me, my mental health, whether it's going me pouring running a hot bubble bath for 2 hours. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Nothing. I might even pour ranch water while I'm sitting in the bathtub and drink my drink and on my phone. But that's what I want to do. That's my me time. So that's what I'm going to do more for myself. That and just the not taking things as serious. Just those two things. I need to work on my relaxation, which I've really become a lot better since the kids have moved out. I'm really trying to focus on that to be, probably a better mom too, but a better employee, a better friend, a better mother, a better all of the above. So taking time to stop and reflect. Meditation, I love that. That's a big thing that I'm trying to, I've listened to these little silly apps that I have downloaded on my phone.
Oh, they're great though.
They're wonderful. So focusing on that and relaxing and just kind of releasing, letting things go. Try not to be so serious.
Yeah. Not to get like into like the spiritual side.
But yeah.
Yeah. But like breathing and connecting to, like your higher self, I feel like can completely change your life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What about you over there, Mom?
What about you, Nikki?
Yeah.
Well, I think one thing we can do is do what we want to do and stop worrying about what everybody else wants us to do.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I spent a lot of years of my life doing things because I was asked to do them, not because I wanted to do them. And I did not feel like I had the right to say no.
I've spent a lot of time with my therapist talking about this.
Because as a mother, as a wife, as an employee, anytime anybody messages me, and I've been dealing with this with a girlfriend this week because she was like, "You're never available." And I'm like, because I say no.
And that's okay. That's what we have to remember.
Because at the end of the day, if I want to shut down my phone and turn on the TV and watch some freaking reality show, that's what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to have to apologize or make any excuses for that.
And I think that's another thing. Talking about girlfriends and whatnot, I think that sometimes our girlfriends I can go weeks without seeing some of my best friends, months even, but we'll chit chat, be like, "Hey, love you, boo, see ya," and that's my catch up time. You might take 5 minutes to say hi or whatever. Mm-hmm. But when dealing with stuff like that, it's too much. We're too old for that. I don't want to play that.
I can't do it anymore. I can't.
Let it go. Gotta let those things go and realize life is way too short.
I cannot be everything to everybody anymore. I have got to just go, enough.
We have to please ourselves. And then
I
from
have
there,
to please myself. Forward. And I've never felt like I could do that without the guilt.
I think a lot of us women have that so much guilt, always giving for everyone but ourselves.
And so, if I want to come home and run a bath at 5:30 and put on my pajamas at 6 or 6:30 and crawl into bed and binge watch something all day, that's what I'm going to do. Another thing that I do that I feel like is very therapeutic for my well-being is I make sure that I go spend time with my friends and have brunch out every once in a while, because you just have to go and be around your people.
Community.
Be around your people.
We were meant to live with other people.
Absolutely. God did not put us on this earth by ourselves.
And now we work remote. So, it's real easy to get into this, like, never leave your home kind of thing. It's like, I mean, there are days I don't leave my house, and it's just not healthy. I mean, that I do not think is healthy. Unless that's what you want to do. If that's what you want to do, perfectly healthy. But for me, I know that I can get into a rut. I've got to get out because, you can get into that funk and it turns into the depression. And, it's just like what we talked about a while ago. So you have to be real careful with some of those things. But I do believe that it's okay. Go have a mimosa.
Have some grace for yourself.
Grace. That has been my word this year.
I love that word.
Some grace. I do too. We have to give ourselves grace.
It's huge.
And others.
Yeah. Give yourself grace, give others grace. Just
my therapist, that's what she said to me every session. Amy, give yourself some grace. So I took that. That's what I took from my therapy. Give myself some grace. If I'm going to go sit there and not talk to anybody and soak in the bathtub for 2 hours, I'm not going to feel guilty about it.
It's your life. You're allowed to do what you want.
Right? And I'm living it. We got
Three women living. Well, as always, if you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to find us on TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram at The Hormone Girls. Send us an email at thehormonegirls@gmail.com.
Like, subscribe, share, all of the above.
Yeah, and we will see you next week.
Bye, ladies.
Peace and blessings.
Have a great week.
We out.
3 women living. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to The Hormone Girls.